Good morning. My name is Debbie Pyatt. I'm the Fitness and Wellness Coordinator for Memorial Health System. This is our Move series again, and today I'm going to bring you a little bit of shoulder exercise, but also rehab. So the combination of these, number one, will help to rehab already an inflamed or injured shoulder, but it will also strengthen those of you that have shoulders that don't have an issue, so hopefully you never get one. But doing these exercises will also build some tone in those shoulders so they look nice when the sleeves gotta come off. All right, join me. All right, the first thing that we're gonna do is use a band. Now, I have a chair here just to attach my band to. And what I'm gonna do is the band handle, or if you're just holding the band, the side that is closest to your body, you wanna shorten it up. And we're gonna hold it right over the belly button. I always like feet apart because it gives you more balance. Then I'm gonna roll this around my hand a little bit to create some stability and shorten it up. We're going to take it out and in, out and in. Now the band resistance will gladly pull that arm right back in. You wanna resist it as it comes in. This is an abduction, which means we are emphasizing the movement outward, controlling the movement inward. A couple of the things you want to look at when you do this is that your shoulders are down, that they stay away from your ears. One way to do that is to draw those shoulder blades back and down. We don't want this elbow coming forward. We don't want it pulling away from the body. Sometimes it's helpful if you roll up a hand towel and put between the arm and the body. That way you're not going to take the arm out because you're holding that towel there. So we're pulling out, resisting in, keeping those shoulders down, shoulder blades back and pulling down as well. Now you can adjust the resistance on your band by how much you roll around your hand. Repetition wise, you want to do 15 to 25 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets, and then you can increase the resistance by rolling that band around your hand a little bit more as your shoulder gets stronger. All right, the next one we're going to do is an adduction, so we're going to be working the other shoulder. And I'm going to wrap this around to shorten it, but it's actually going to be this one that moves closest to the chair. I take it out. The resistance is when I pull it in. I take it out. Notice that right angle of the arm, and I pull it in. I take it out, and I pull it in. Again, the resistance on the band is going to want to pull that arm right back to the chair. You resist it. It's the pulling across the body, keeping that right angle, that's going to help to strengthen or rehab or shape the shoulder. Again, it's 15 to 25 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets, and the stronger you get, the shorter the band. Or if you have multiple bands, you just use one with more resistance. All right, now I'm going to move to the other side. We're going to do the same thing over there. And you can just wrap your band around anything that's going to be stable for you, that's not going to move. So we shorten up the side closest to the chair. That goes over the belly button. The side away from the chair is the arm that's going to be the working side. Right angles, shoulders down, feet apart, draw those shoulder blades down and squeeze them together. We pull out and in. The emphasis is on the abduction, which is the movement going outward. Elbow and arm stay close to the body. Remember, you can always place a towel in there. That's going to remind you to keep that arm down so that elbow doesn't come out while you're doing the movement. So even if you have good shoulders, these are exercises I would suggest you incorporate at least once a week. Shoulder injury we see a lot in the Wellness Center. It happens after the age of 40, so much easier than when we're younger. So doing this is a preventative measure. All right, now we're going to move to the inside. Shorten this up a little more. All right, so the emphasis here is when that comes in. That is an adduction, pulling in. Again, keeping that shoulder down and keeping that arm tight against the body. Now this is actually my side where I have a torn rotator cuff. So you might notice in my videos, my shoulder being a little bit wonky for me while I'm working it, but I am rehabbing it, and I've got much better range of motion. I am pain-free now at this point, and this has been going on now for about 8 months. All right, we got that down. The next one we're going to move to, I call it an inverted V. So we want the band to be the same length on each side. I'm going to have to roll this in a little bit. We're going to stand up tall, shoulder blades down, scapula, shoulder blades pulled together, and shoulders away from the ears. So I'm going to take this band and I'm going to pull down and out in an inverted V. Down and out. Down and out. Now normally I have something higher to attach it to, so my movement upward is greater, but what we're working on here is the movement downward. So as long as I am trying to get those hands past my legs, past my body, this is the part of the movement that is giving therapy to my shoulder. This is working the back of the shoulder. The back of the shoulder is usually pretty weak in people because they don't do exercise to work the back. I mean, let's face it, when we look in the mirror, we see the front, we see the side, we don't see the back. And we need to make a point to exercise it because that's going to help to stabilize that rotator cuff and prevent future injury. So my arms are flaring out in an inverted V. Right there is the resistance, and I control the movement inward. Again, that is 15 to 25 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets. If you're going to work the shoulders, those exercises that I just showed you are a wonderful thing to do to get the shoulders warmed up for exercise. All right, I'm going to lay in a prone position or face down now on my mat. You can lay on a rug, you can lay a beach towel down, and I'm going to do some movement here that not only helps to strengthen the shoulders, but it helps to shape them as well, and it keeps your range of motion to the greatest extent. When I have done this in my class, many people have already lost range of motion in their shoulders. So when they continue to do this, they'll see improvement there. So prone position, face down. Now, if you would like, you could roll up a towel and lay it under your forehead so your nose isn't smashed into the mat. I'm going to be keeping my head up a little bit to be able to talk to you, but I don't recommend you do that. You don't want to hold your head up like this. Roll up that towel, put your forehead on it, or put your forehead all the way down on the floor. So we're going to start with those arms out in a V. They are not straight forward, they're in a V. Fists with thumbs up. And we lift, lower. Now think about your shoulder blades and engaging them as you do this. The teres major and minor, which are muscles back there, help supporting the latissimus dorsi. So this isn't just the shoulders working. You want to engage that upper back as you lift those arms. Now it's more of a struggle for me on the right arm because of my shoulder issue, but I still go through the range of motion that that arm will allow me to do. So let's do 10 repetitions there. Then we're going to take it out with palms down, and we're going to make a T with the body. Lift, lower. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Every time you lift, you think about contracting through the upper back. Up and down. Up and down. Now when you do these, if your arms will not even raise off the floor, you've already lost range of motion in your shoulders. So if you haven't injured your shoulders, you are putting yourself at a high risk for injury because you've lost range of motion. So this is a great one for you to be doing. Now we're going to move the arms down in a V. So this is an inverted V. They are not by my sides. And we're going to point the thumbs down, up, down. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Squeeze those shoulder blades every time. And these movements are not done fast because you want to get the contraction of all the muscles I'm pointing out. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Make sure you keep those shoulders away from the ears as you do this. And after you get used to doing these exercises, and if you have a decent range of motion, you can add dumbbells. I would add very light ones. I'd start with 1 pound. You don't want to use heavy ones when you do this. Actually, most people cannot. So don't grab a 5 or a 6 pound dumbbell to get started. Start with a can of soup. Start with a 1 pound dumbbell. Squeezing the shoulder blades together and keeping these shoulders away from the ears. All right, now I'm going to come around and I'm going to sit in a butterfly position. I'm just going to face front for a second to show you what that is. Soles of feet together, knees open wide. I'm going to turn this way because we are working the shoulders here. This is helping the range of motion, building strength, but also helping to create definition in those shoulders. So I'm as close to my heels as my body can get. I'm going to walk my hands back a little bit. Opening the chest, keeping the shoulders down. I'm going to lift and move my bottom back. Now I'm going to lift and go as close to my heels as I can. Now you can see the range of motion on my arms there. Everybody's range of motion is going to be different with this one according to your shoulder flexibility. So don't push it. Just go to where you can go, knowing that over time you want to increase that. So I'm going to walk my hands back a little bit farther, lift that bottom, bring it all the way in. Lift that bottom, take it all the way up to the heels. Keep those knees open. Soles of feet are squeezing together. I take it all the way back to those hands. Now I lift and I take it as close to the heels as I can. Trying to stay lifted so the shoulder is not touching the ear. We don't want to sink down. Keep that chest open, shoulders rolling back so those shoulder blades are squeezing together. All right, now, if you already have a shoulder injury, that one's a little bit difficult. You do the range of motion that you can do. If you can't even get your hand completely behind you, put it out here. Start where you're at. One of my sayings, which they throw back to me in class all the time, is, you do you, baby. So make sure that you're using the range of motion that your body will allow, and that way you're going to develop a difference. You're going to rehab that shoulder, and you're going to see change in the shape of the shoulder. All right, the next one we're going to do, I'm just going to sit here with legs out straight. And these are the eagle arms of the eagle pose in yoga. Now, a lot of people don't have the range of motion to completely intertwine. So I'm going to show you where you start. We just cross one elbow over the other. You sit up tall. You can stand and do this. I'm seated, of course, doing it. And then you intertwine those arms. Now, lengthen the spine, lengthen the neck, pull the shoulders down, and we're going to round the spine. Round and up. Now lift those arms so those elbows are out in front of you. And round, pulling the elbows into the chest, and up. Lift those elbows, push those shoulders down, and round. Really feeling that stretch through the upper back and the shoulders. And up. Lift the shoulders, lift your chin, and get that neck lengthened. One more time. And up. Now, untwist. Make a note which arm is on top, because we're going to shake it out, and now the other arm goes on top. If you cannot intertwine, this is where you go. It's just to this point. If you can intertwine, now roll, chin down. As you straighten that spine, lift those elbows. And roll. Really feeling that stretch. And up. Like I said at the beginning, none of these exercises are to be done quickly. Pause in that movement, really pushing through the spine. Get those shoulders away from the ears. Round and back up. Lift those elbows. All right. The next one is called thread the needle. We're going to swing around again. Hands and knees. Make sure those shoulders are directly over the wrist. Your hips are directly over the knees. I'm going to take my right arm and I roll all the way down so that shoulder is on the floor. Now that might be enough for you. You might not need to do any more than that. But if you can, you're going to raise up the opposite arm and get a stretch through the front of that shoulder while we're stretching the back of the shoulder we're lying on. Hand comes down. You come up. Repeat that. Down on the shoulder. Hand comes up. Really feeling that stretch in the front of the raised arm, the back of the arm that we're lying on. And come up. All right, for sake of time, I'm not going to do the other side, but you want to make sure that you work both sides. Now we're going to go into a cat-cow stretch. So we have a neutral position back. This is called tabletop. And again, wrists directly under the shoulders, knees under the hips. I'm going to tuck my chin and pull my pelvis forward. So you're thinking about center of the spine pushing up. We don't want to shift the weight back. We don't want to shift the weight forward. Center of the spine pushing up. And we go back to that table position or neutral position. And then we go into cow, where we tip the pelvis down towards the front of the pelvis, down towards the floor, and chin goes up. Hold for a few seconds, back to table, and then back to cat. Squeeze that pelvis forward, squeeze the buns, chin to the chest, back through table, and then right into cow. And into cat, pelvis forward, chin forward, really push, squeeze your buns, pass through table, and back to cat. All right, I hope you enjoyed those today. It's a different form of exercise, but you do these repetitions, the 15 to 25 with the bands, 2 to 3 sets. These ones that I showed you on the mat, make sure you do them slow and controlled. Hold the positions for a couple of seconds. Not only will you rehab an injured shoulder, but you're going to strengthen the shoulders so you might not ever have another injury, or if you're one of those lucky ones that hasn't had one yet, you're not going to have one if all of those little auxiliary muscles are strengthened in there. Remember, I said we normally don't work the back of the shoulder as much as we do the medial or the anterior or the front of the shoulder. Sometimes, in my case, I was running down steps, which I tell people not to do. I was not holding onto the railing. My foot slid past a step. I immediately grabbed the rail, but I kept sliding. And that's what tore my rotator cuff. Number one, don't do that. But number two, if I would have had more strength in my rear delt, that could have helped me to not have a full rotator cuff tear because it would have been there to support. So it's very important that we work the anterior or the front, the medial or the side, and the posterior or the rear. These exercises do that, rehab, strengthening, and you're going to get toning out of them too. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name is Debbie Pyatt. I'm the Fitness and Wellness Coordinator for Memorial Health System. This is our MOVE series. They pay me to do this. Isn't that great? I have been in this career for, it'll be 40 years in the fall, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I thank you for watching and tuning in, and I hope that I'm teaching you a little something new for quality of life, because that's what it's all about. I'll be back next Friday. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.